Hello and welcome back. This is part 4 of Centrify patterns for just-in-time, just enough, and any other privileged access request use cases. In this part, we're going to focus on the use case where organizations don't want their privileged users to visit the Centrify portal, right? And we're going to be doing a couple of demos with DirectSSH and DirectRDP. So let's define the problem here. So many organizations and many privileged access or vaults have a portal or an application that is used, but typically this implies that somebody goes, makes a request somewhere, and then they use it somewhere else. That is context switching. That is not very conducive for productivity, and it may expose information that you perhaps don't want, maybe a non-employee to be aware of. So for this, the Centrify Connector can be used as basically the conduit to perform, jump box options around RDP or SSH. But one important capability is that you can do access requests also from that component. A lot of people don't know about it. And what I've seen many of the most advanced customers is to set up a pool of connectors, right? And typically they either use a load balancer with a VIP, or maybe they use DNS round robin. And they would have, for example, like here I have my jumpbox.example.net that will result to any of the connectors that I have. The net benefit here is that if you have some degree of health checking, users can just, use the solution with their own manual login or shared accounts, but perhaps also make an access request with that. That being said, let's go ahead and do this. So I'm going to make a request here as Lisa. So let me see if I can set this up. So I have removed Lisa's login access, right? Let me just refresh here real quick. So notice that it went back to request login, but think about it for a second here. Maybe you don't want Lisa to visit the portal. She shouldn't have access to the portal at all. And what she would do is just connect to the connector. So I have a connector. I don't have it set up like multiple connectors in DNS round robin or a load balancer, but I have a connector called member. So I'm just gonna go ahead and set it up. So let me see real quick. Okay, this is good font size. So I can use this as a basis for this. So it would be my member system. And I'm just gonna call it the same. All right, so now I have a session. So all I need to do is connect to the connector, and I'm gonna do the sequence using challenge response so you can see how it works. So let's go ahead and connect to this guy. First time connecting. So this one is poorly set up. And I'm gonna leave it running because it's important to see how you get away with it. So this original session had Kerberos enabled. So what I need to do is disable that and disable any GSS API and save it. So it would be much easier to just edit the video, but these are the type of things that people need to know. So I'm gonna go ahead and try and open it again. And so I'm connecting as Lisa. And notice that I'm being challenged for multi-factor. So I'm not using true multi-factor, but a second secret. Notice that it's asking for the password. Now it's going to ask me for the host name, right? So the machine that we want to do this, it's called NSEN6. So I'm looking at it from the perspective of the approver, so you can see. I'm looking for an account called OP admin in this system. So I want to make sure that I match the host name correctly, because it's gonna validate if I have visibility to the system. So notice it's asking me now which account. And notice they're saying, hey, you don't have access to this file. Do you want to request it? So I'm going to just request it, and it's going to be shell, because later you'll see that I can do the same thing, but with my SFTP. And let's do a request. And the reason is demo4. Now it's kicked me out, but what has happened is that the approver has received an access request. And here's how we know it, demo4. So I'm going to go ahead and approve it. I'm going to make it into a permanent one. And now I could try again. So there's several ways I could try. I could try it with, I could try it interactively, but I want to show you how you can do it with a connector string, because a connector string is probably much more usable. So in this case, it would be, you have to go from the general to the specific. So it would be SSH, and it would be the account at the system. And then at the connector. Actually, let's see, account at system at connector at user at connector. Let's see. Quite long. So in this case, I have a problem with my key. So I need to make sure that I clean that up. So let's see. So it would be so I believe that I need to get rid of this line here. Okay, and I should be better. All right, so let's try again. All right, so this is good. So it's asking me again for multi-factor. So I'm going to pick 2, which is a bad move. And in here, let's see, did I approve that? It will be shell. And there you have it. So I did not have to visit the portal for both the request and to use the account. And to keep the demos smaller, I'm gonna do the one for RDP in the next video.